Welcome to Mega Talk, the new talk show in boxing. Welcome to Mega Talk. This is basically replying to one of the fans who had listened to one of my YouTube vlogs and basically saying that I was sitting on the fence regards to Conor Benn. It's not that I was sitting on the fence, I just thought that there wasn't enough information available for me really to pass judgment, and I didn't just want to be like everybody else who would jump on Conor Benn and just say, you did this, you did that. So here's your chance to hear what the fan replied back to me said on the phone. Is entitled to his opinion. And until I hear Conor Benn reply and explain his side of the story to say what's happened, I still don't really want to make any judgments towards him. I'll wait and hear what he says. So let's listen to what the fan had to say.
Okay, let's get straight into it. The commentator said he would reserve judgment until a verdict has been reached. A verdict has been reached, but the commentator is still sitting on the fence. The evidence is there in front of you, so let me review some of the evidence. Conor Benn is reported to have said there has been contamination. The odds of having contamination may or may not be there for the first test, but a number of months later to have had contamination again in a second test is highly questionable. Either the lab where they are processing these blood specimens is poor, unprofessional, and do not have high professional standards, or you have to question whether or not contamination is part of a smokescreen. The second point he is reported to have said is the reason why he gave up his license was because he had issues with the British Boxing Board of Control, and because his father gave up his license before, there may be some issues with bad feeling. That could be so, but we also have to investigate whether or not that is just a smokescreen for what has actually gone on. The third point I want to raise is the fact that he has relinquished his title, which means automatically there is no further investigation because technically he is not part of the federation, the organization, the association, therefore they have nothing to investigate. I would strongly question that as a move, more so as a tactic to prevent a full investigation being conducted. To say he would never box again in this country, and he is not considering boxing in another country, my question would be, so what is he going to do and how is he going to earn a living? I would strongly suggest this story has not finished. I would also suggest that he has been advised, he being Conor Benn, he has been advised to play this move to kill the investigation. Could Conor Benn return at a later date, a year or two down the road, and renew his license again? And what would be the implications of this investigation that is now dead? That is one question that I would need to hear the views and opinions, because it's one question that has not been tackled. In my view, this warrants a full investigation into the circumstances and the background regarding the allegations of contamination. It also warrants a full investigation into the blood test and also where these substances have come from. This investigation cannot die purely because the boxer has relinquished their license. There are wider issues which could involve his training camp and the people around him. Where did this drug come from? How did it get into his system? That's what the public wants to know. That's what the public needs to know. And that's what the public needs to see, an investigation by the British Boxing Board of Control to determine these factors, to ensure that other boxers are not doing it, and also to ensure the integrity of the sport is held in high regard. So the final point is, so where does Conor Benn go from here? Well, I can't see any obvious options unless he's going to go into something like mixed martial arts, which is a very popular and growing sport. You heard also the Eubanks and Benn Sr. go on the record to say they don't believe their son or friend or opponent would have taken drugs. No father, parent, or onlooker can give a categorical assurance because they don't know the motivations of their children, friends, boxers. Each boxer has to be accountable for themselves. That's my view and my opinion of the current situation.
So that's the opinion of one of the fans of one of the podcasts which I had done. But I'd just like to say a correction for him when he says that Conor says he wouldn't fight in another country. What Conor says was that he wouldn't fight for the British Boxing Board of Control again. What he would do, he says that he would clear his name first before he fights again. And yeah, he'll probably go to a different country then to fight under a different contract. And secondly, I don't think that Conor Benn has to fight in MMA because remember, once again, Conor Benn has not been banned. He's not been banned. He's been tested positive for performance enhancing drugs inside his body. And remember, he could have boxed that night. He could have applied for a license under a different country, but he wants to clear his name before he boxes again. So I just wanted to put that out here. And I'll just lastly say that, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I would rather just wait until I hear what Conor Benn's statement is, hear what he's got to say. We don't know exactly what it is. I thought that he was going to do an interview on one of the television channels probably Friday just gone, but he didn't. So we'll wait and see what happens this Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully he'll come and say something. Thank you for listening to Mega Talk.